Now for the clicking magic to make this thing blink. So remember when we play our game and we added code on here on the button right here that tells this console to say something whenever we click. See how it says image was clicked, image was clicked. Okay, so now remember we can't edit while we're in play mode, so I'm going to unplay this. And we're going to just simply change this code. I'm going to come back to Unity in a second, but when I double click over here in the console, it takes me right to where this line was created, right there. This is it, debug.log. That will spit stuff out into the console. Okay, and so that's the stuff that it spit out into the console, that message, image was clicked. It says it in there, image was clicked, right there. That's what it produced. Okay, so now inside the animator, remember we have scene here, we have animator. If your animator window, you lost it, it's in this here, animator. Okay, now we can tell it to go from this idle to the blink by right clicking here, and we're going to make a transition. You can now move the mouse to this. Oops, I thought I changed this. That should be title blink. Last episode I must have goofed up. That should be title blink. I'll just write blink on there to make it more clear. This should be your blinking animation, and this one should be your idle. Okay, now right here when you click this little arrow, you're going to see this conditions. You can add conditions here to say, hey, what will make it go to this blinking animation? And those conditions are found in this parameters section. So we're going to click here, we're going to add a trigger. Okay, and we're going to call this trigger blinking. Okay, so I want to make it different than that, so I put the ing on there just to, I don't know, just to hopefully make things more clear. So when we click this, we're going to say it's blinking now. And to set that, to make that happen, we need to hit the plus sign, and it's going to pick blinking because that's the only parameter we have. If we had like 10 parameters, it would let you choose between all 10. So we have blinking. So it's only going to go there. It won't go there yet until that trigger gets triggered. See, clicking it's not triggering it, but we're going to write the code now for that. So remember, if I just double click here, I can go, it's like a little shortcut. And so we need to access the animator. And so we're going to say public animator. That's a built-in thing. And we're going to give it a name. A lot of people write anim. Okay? A lot of people write anim. I'm going to say my animator. Okay? I'm going to my animator. You really could write whatever you want there. Okay? And then we're going to delete all this, and we're going to say my animator now. We're going to do something. We're going to say dot set trigger, and we have to put in parentheses what we named it, and we called it blinking, right? Am I misspelling it again? Blinking. And then one thing, if you're not a coder, you need to know that these lines need to end in a semicolon. I noticed a lot of people forgetting to put that semicolon. So my animator dot set trigger blinking, and then you got to go file save. The Unity does not read the code unless it was saved, and then you get your little mine jumped back here automatically. Didn't intend for it to do that. Okay, so let's see if that worked. So we'll hit play, and I really hope so. So let's click. And it's not. And the reason why it's not working, okay, I'm going to pretend like I did this on purpose. The reason why it's not working is I did not assign it the animator yet. All I have to do is just drag itself into this slot. And because the Unity's smart enough to say, hey, did that thing that you just dragged in have an animator? If so, you can see the little symbol matches. Okay, it says, okay, the animator on this thing. There's a way in code to write it to just make it find its own animator by just writing code there, but that's another way Unity allows you to just drag it there. So now when I click, it does its little blink. Why is it going forever? Well, it's probably in this animator settings. Let's see, we have this, we click this. Let me double click this and see what we get here. We got, it goes to that. Oh, I double clicked this and look, I found loop. If I uncheck loop and now push play, let's see what happens. It's probably just gonna get to the end and just stay at that one. It's not looping, but it's staying there because we set the trigger. What happens now if we want to go back to the original title? Let's see. I'm going to right click on here and say make a transition, and we're going to go back to the idle. So let's see what happens now when we start at idle. We click, it plays this animation, and it goes back. Didn't really play the whole thing, did it? There's some weird settings in here that you could play around with. It's all this stuff. We could say it has no exit time. We can, I don't know what we have here. We have all this stuff. I unchecked exit time. Let's see if that does it. It did not do that. Set trigger. We have to say, or maybe it should be keep the exit time on. And then there's something about all this stuff that's not this transition here. We don't want it to happen until we have to play around, sliding these things around and see what happens. We had the blink. The blink was covered up, so it wasn't really playing the whole thing. So you're really going to want to play around with those. See how it's blinking now? Okay, so you're going to want to make sure. So these overlaps that you have here allow you to, oh, by the way, let's go to blink, let's click this, and in the project settings, you could make it, I'm sorry, we need to select the image here. We could play around with this. So that right now it's going 60 frames per second on the blink, and that's so fast because it's only, what, 3 frames? Let's make it like 8 frames per second and push play. Let's take a test and see what that looks like. 8 frames per second will go a lot slower, maybe way too slow. So let's go with probably it's going to be around 30 frames a second. That's like, click this, click here, click to the blink, and let's go about, how about 24? 24 frames per second was the old like movie film. Let's see, click. Okay, now obviously my graphic could be better, and it's kind of jumpy, so in Photoshop I probably need to align things up better. But we're getting a little click, we're playing around with the animation tool, okay, so you could see how this works. And those overlaps that we had to slide around and stuff, those become important when you're trying to make smooth animations with like a 3D character. So when a guy's running and he, let's just say he's running and then he's gonna jump. So the animation can transition from the running pose to the jump pose, and it could kind of overlap with each other. So that's what some of this stuff is about, where you play around with these a lot and get it looking the way you want. Okay, go ahead and have fun playing around with that, and have fun.